Every negotiation you've ever lost, every salary you accepted that was too low, every deal where you folded, every relationship where you gave more than you received, they all have one thing in common. You needed it. And the moment you needed it, you'd already lost it. There is a principle so powerful, so dangerously simple, that it governs everything, from billion-dollar acquisitions to street corner negotiations over the price of fruit. The ancient Stoics understood it. Hostage negotiators are trained in it, and the wealthiest people on earth practice it every single day without ever naming it. It's called detached outcome independence. And today, I'm going to teach it to you through a story about 3 people who sat down at the same table with the same opportunity, and only one of them walked away with everything. Here's the parable. A wealthy landowner in post-war Japan owned a piece of property at the intersection of 2 rivers, the only viable location for a new bridge that would connect 2 growing towns. 3 parties wanted the land. Each was given exactly 1 meeting, 1 hour, same terms offered to all. The first was a corporate director, a CEO of a regional construction firm. He'd promised his board this bridge project. His quarterly earnings depended on it. His reputation depended on it. His identity depended on it. He walked in with spreadsheets, projections, a team of lawyers. He opened the negotiation by saying, "We need this land. Let's talk numbers." The second was a gambler, not of cards, but markets, a speculator who'd borrowed heavily to flip this property for 3 times its worth. He had creditors waiting, he had a timeline, he had pressure leaking from every pore, masked behind a grin. He opened by saying, "I know what this land is worth, and I know you know, so let's not waste time." The third was an older man, simple robes, no papers, no entourage. He sat, he said nothing. He picked up the teacup, he drank. The landowner, who had spent 2 exhausting hours defending his price against the CEO's aggression and the gambler's tactics, felt something he hadn't felt all day: peace. At the 50-minute mark, the monk stood up, bowed, and said, "Whether you sell to me, to them, or to no one, your land is beautiful, and this tea was enough." He walked toward the door. The landowner called him back. He sold the monk the land at a price below what the CEO had offered. And when asked why, he said something that should be carved on the wall of every business school on earth. "The other 2 needed my land. This man did not. And that made him the only one I trusted it with." Now, let's talk about you. Since you were old enough to understand language, you've been fed a doctrine, a programming, a virus disguised as wisdom. Want it more than anyone else, outwork everyone in the room, show them how badly you want it, never walk away. This is the trap. Society has conditioned you to believe that desire is power. It's not. Desire is a leash. When you need the job, the interviewer smells it. When you need the client, they lowball you. When you need the relationship to work, you tolerate things you should never tolerate. Desperation doesn't just weaken your position, it broadcasts your position to everyone, every time. And here's what no one tells you. The system is designed this way. Employers want you desperate. They structure hiring to make you wait, to make you audition, to make you invest so much emotional energy that by the time they offer you 15% less than you deserve, you take it because you've already mentally spent the salary. Brands want you desperate. Limited editions, countdown timers, only 2 left in stock. They manufacture urgency so you never access the one mental state that would save you thousands of dollars a year: indifference. The gambler in the parable wasn't stupid, he was attached. He had borrowed against a future that didn't exist yet, and that attachment, that need for a specific outcome, turned him from a negotiator
into a hostage. The CEO wasn't incompetent, he was obliged. He'd made promises to people above him, which meant the landowner wasn't negotiating with a man, he was negotiating with a man's fear of failure. And fear of failure is the most expensive currency on earth, because everyone can see it and everyone charges a premium for it. So here's the sober reality. The monk didn't win because he was spiritual. He didn't win because he was passive. He didn't win because he didn't care. He won because he had done something before he ever sat down at that table, something the CEO and the gambler never thought to do. He had made peace with the word no. Detached outcome independence is not apathy. It's not caring. It is the disciplined, deliberate act of entering every negotiation, every pitch, every conversation, having already accepted the possibility that you will walk away with nothing, and being genuinely fine with that. Not pretending to be fine, being fine. Chris Voss, the FBI's lead hostage negotiator for 2 decades, says the most dangerous person in any negotiation is the one who can say, "I'm okay with this not working out," and mean it. Because that person cannot be leveraged, cannot be rushed, cannot be manipulated by deadlines, emotions, or fear. Warren Buffett has killed more deals than he's made, not because the numbers were wrong, but because he refuses to let the excitement of the deal override his standards. He calls it the institutional imperative, the invisible force inside organizations that says we must do something, and he treats it like a disease. So here's your actionable shift, and I want you to write this down. Before your next negotiation, before your next interview, your next pitch, your next difficult conversation, ask yourself one question. What happens if I walk away? If the answer terrifies you, you are not ready to sit down at that table, because you're not entering a negotiation, you're entering a cage, and the other person holds the lock. Build your life so that you can always walk away. Not because you want to leave, but because freedom, real freedom, is never about what you have. It's about what you don't need. The monk didn't have a strategy. He had a life that didn't depend on the outcome, and that was the strategy. The most powerful position in any room is the willingness to leave it.